The, I'm Tony Harwood. I'm the Planning and Inventory Division Manager for the Confederated Salish and Kootenai Tribes Department of Forestry. In 2007, I was the Fire Management Officer in our Tribal Division of Fire. The Jocko Lakes Fire started on August 3rd, 2007, I believe, and that was a very difficult day for the Division of Fire. We, that morning, we had a closeout meeting with Northern Rockies Type 2 team on the Garso Fire. That was a 2,000-acre fire east of or west of Polson. Also, the Chippy Creek Fire came onto the reservation area that same morning, and then at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon we got a report of a fire in the Mission Mountain Tribal Wilderness that was close to the reservation boundary. That was the Jocko Lakes Fire. The fire was reported from Montour Lookout in the Forest Service, Seeley Lake District, and the first report was 10 acres and that the fire was running. Our shared helicopter, initial attack helicopter that we have with the Lola National Forest and the Salish and Kootenai tribes responded to the fire, and within a half an hour the fire was reported as being 150 acres and running with high winds. The fire grew to several thousand acres throughout the course of the night, and it had a straight line direction towards the community of Seeley Lake. Our initial response, we couldn't use aerial resources, and we sent firefighters up from our side to evaluate what was going on our side, but the fire east of the reservation boundary was running and spread rather quickly throughout the course of the night. I was called by Tim Love, the ranger for the Seeley Lake District, and we agreed to meet in Missoula about 9 o'clock that evening, and we had a meeting and started doing the wildland fire situation analysis. We had done similar actions where we had fires in 2003 and previous to that, where we had done these multi-jurisdiction wildland fire situation analysis efforts jointly, meeting together, doing the assessments together, and getting our objectives on that decision, and providing information to BIA superintendent approval and the Forest Service approval. So that was our action that night. A team was ordered immediately, a Type 2 team. I was in and participated with the Montana Department of State Land individuals and the Forest Service in briefing the team on the morning of August 4th. That morning, the fire, you could see the fire smoke plume from Missoula looking to the northeast, and the fire was a plume-dominated fire, and was probably the most scary type profile for the individuals that were in front of that fire that was directed straight at the community and homes that were scattered within that area. We participated very little in the suppression efforts, but more the management efforts and in supporting the team and explaining our objectives and the BIA participation. Our BIA superintendent, our designee, attended the planning meetings as well as my requirements as an FMO to also participate best with that. We assigned cultural advisors to that fire for tribal resources and also natural resource individuals. So they work with the other agencies strongly on that. There was, we always, in these joint actions, participate in the community meetings, and those were conducted daily for quite a long period of time because of the risk and the threat, and the fire transitioned quickly from a Type 2 team to a national Type 1 team. So, you know, there was probably a 2-week period there where there were many meetings and to the community and the fire departments and those also those standard planning meetings. And we participated the best we could.
The community
of Seeley Lake community. There was an issue that was part of the questioning from community members that could not or did not have the information on the fire starting and what the reason for that very dramatic threat to the community. We believe that the fire started within 1 mile of the reservation and that it was a holdover fire from maybe as long as 2-week lightning event that occurred in very dense timber at high elevation. We did get a report of a fire, but despite our best efforts, the fire laid down in the heavy timber and we had no evidence of smoke. We watched the area over that period for smoke because we believed something could be in there, and we had very high fire danger weather and conditions going throughout the period. And when we would, for instance, when we would fly helicopter flights here to other fires that went over the area, we would deliberately fly the helicopters over that area to check it out. So we were watching, but we just couldn't find the fire we believed was possibly in that area. It was a part of myself and our representatives to explain that to the community, to state representatives and rural fire department folks, but it was a community and continuing effort that went clear through the community meetings with the full support of our other partners. When we were talking on this topic, I had Tim Love, the district ranger, on one shoulder. I had Steve Wallace, the Clearwater fire manager, on the other shoulder, and I had Frank Madero on the other shoulder. And we did this community effort together, in sequence. We told our story, and we got that, we communicated I think very effectively with the community to explain the situation, to give opportunity and a response to the community on the topics of concern. And then it finished up on a very cool day where we had buses of community members that went up to visit the fire on the reservation boundary, and we talked to the people for as long as they needed to, and continued that cooperative, multi-agency, good neighbor type effort on the Jocko Lakes fire.
And how did the community respond to that?
All of the responses clear out the whole period were very, very positive and understanding. Mm-hmm. I think they just needed to have the story told and time to answer questions and to address concerns. And I felt we all of us, Tim, Steve, Frank, and myself, felt very good about the effort. And actually, we went on the road to some line officer trainings in the next following couple of winters to tell our story there too. So I hope by using that as a good example that added to our success.
That's great. I think that's good for that field trip. I just have a question that's hitting me from our earlier conversation. Because you said in the wilderness you haven't had that bad event yet. And so
Yeah.
earlier in the conversation I was worried maybe this was that bad event, but it doesn't sound like it was.
Well, yeah, it was a bad event.
But not for your wilderness fire program.
Not for long duration or resource. Yeah, yeah, that was for us will be and continue to be a historical fire situation.
Okay.
The wilderness.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't catch on that.
Okay, I think we're done. Tony, I cannot